Ooh. Hello. How are we doing? There we go. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, hello. How are we all doing? Let me just get back to the screen that I want. There we go. Perfect. Hello. Welcome to another live stream, as I promised. And yeah, we are going to be following a very similar pattern to what we did the last time we streamed, which was only on Sunday. Actually, I'm losing track of the days at the moment because it's where are we now? Tuesday evening, and when there's no football on, and because I'm full time like work from home for my job and stuff, I find it hard to like follow along completely. But hello, hope everybody's doing well. Welcome back, or welcome to the stream if you haven't been along before. Hope you're all having a lovely week, a lovely Tuesday evening. It's a bit warm again, but not unbearable. Last few days it's been kind of like unbearable. The other night, honestly, when I was trying to sleep, my back was sticking to the mattress cover. It was absolutely horrible, but it's a bit less warm. You can't see it because it's plugged in. You can kind of see it in shot here, but I've got a fan on the side of my desk, but I'm not going to turn it on because it's probably going to be quite loud and disrupt my my microphone as well. But yeah, as I say, hope everybody's having a good week so far. We're going to be chatting Spurs as we usually do in this live stream. We're going to talk about the Morgan Gibbs-White stuff and the developments that have gone on sort of over the last couple of days. We're going to be talking about the Adam Wharton stuff because that's quite interesting. There seems to be a little bit more interest, or I don't know if I want to say development in that stuff, but there's a little bit more information that we can get into. And I feel like we are now finally at a point where we can talk about Thomas Frank's first game in charge, which will be the game against Reading on Saturday. It's so close now. A few teams have started their preseason tours already. Ours starts on Saturday when we go to Reading. I know a lot of people that are actually going to it. I think it was like £7 a ticket, which shows the sort of appetite for it and this appetite for seeing how Thomas Frank can get on with Spurs. But yeah, let me know in the chat how you guys are doing, and if you're having a good week, what you're making of the whole situation around Spurs at the moment. I see you. We're live on TikTok as well as YouTube, so I will be dual screening both chats so I can get to everyone. YouTube chat is popping off. Izzy, how's it going? Yeah, not too bad, thank you, mate. Had a pretty pleasant day. Yeah, and yeah, looking forward to. It's going to be. I mean, I've signed myself up for an incredibly long evening because I'm doing a live stream for a little bit now, and then I am going to be on Last Word on Spurs at 10 o'clock. So if you want to see more of me this evening, or if you want to fill your entire evening with my face and my voice, stick around for this and then head over to Last Word on Spurs because I'll be on with them at 10 o'clock this evening to chat some more as well. Reese, we captured a command post, my little Battlefront friend. I'm sure you did, buddy. I hope you're doing well, bud. Nicola says, this whole Morgan Gibbs-White saga is a lot of BS. You can't convince me Forest hasn't done the same thing with other players they've signed. The hypocrisy of Forest is wild. Yeah, so the updates in terms of Gibbs-White now, as far as I understand it, is that Forest have sent a complaint and they've sent a letter to Spurs and Morgan Gibbs-White's agent. And I think the idea is that Forest believe that Gibbs-White's agent is the one who has been leaking all of this stuff and told Spurs about the release clause, etc. So this is why I'm still leaning towards Gibbs-White becoming a Tottenham player. I think it might be the agent that's in the wrong. And whether that means that they can block it, I'm not entirely sure that that is going to be the case. So yeah, I don't know about that one. Zoe, how's it going? Welcome back to the stream. Hope all is well. Yeah, we're all doing good, thank you. I'll be watching Last Word on Spurs later. Absolutely. Fantastic. I'm looking forward to it. I haven't been on Last Word on Spurs in ages, and I've been dying to get back on there. So it should be a good show as well. I think Matt's hosting it tonight while Ricky's still away on holiday. Brian says it's a Forest shakedown. Yeah, I'm the only thing I'm slightly concerned about is whether Gibbs-White will need to push Forest to let him go, and that because he won't want to leave on bad terms, right? Because Forest have treated him like royalty, he's their best player or whatever, and you've got all of this sort of connection with the fans, business. If he needs to push it through and force his way out of the club, that's maybe where it becomes a little bit of an issue. So yeah, we'll see. But I see you guys on TikTok as well. I'm getting to your comments. Joz, will we get Gibbs-White? Yeah, I think so. Joz. I do still remain fully confident that it is going to happen. The issue is, right, and I think what we need to maybe consider doing is we need to consider maybe like tempering our expectations a little bit for when it's going to be done. Like myself, because a lot of journalists came out at the end of last week, right, didn't they? And they said, Spurs fully expect this deal to get over the line and very close to being done as quickly as possible. And now that narrative has sort of changed a little bit, and it feels like they're now leaning towards the idea of maybe it doesn't get done as quickly, it might drag out, and that's sort of what Forest want to do. So yeah, maybe we need to be a bit more patient in that sense. But yeah, Pap Sacco, thank you for the follow on TikTok. Aiden, thank you for the follow on TikTok. If you guys are watching on TikTok, make sure you're smashing that heart button on the live stream, and follow along as well if you want to see more content from me, posting on there every single day, doing live streams multiple times a week at the moment, so there will be plenty flying about. I appreciate your support. As always, you know I do. Same as you guys on YouTube. Before I go any further, by the way, and I meant to mention this right at the start, we hit 3K subs today on YouTube, which to me is insane. And I know it may not seem like a lot to a lot of different people, but to me, it's a really, really big achievement and not something that I thought I would achieve, at least not yet or for the foreseeable future. And everything has sort of taken off a little bit. The videos are flying. You guys are phenomenal in terms of commenting and engaging with the content, and it is motivating me to do more, just as much as I can. So while you guys are there and you're enjoying the content, I'm just going to do as much as possible. So thank you very much again, and yeah, don't forget to subscribe and follow so we can carry on growing. Like I said in the last live stream, I want to hit 5k subs and 5k followers on TikTok and YouTube. So that's the next goal. That's the dream, and appreciate it. So yeah, Mahab, watching from Egypt. Kois. Welcome along, my friend. That is some commitment all the way from Egypt. How are you doing? Enjoying your week, I hope. And yeah, how are you feeling about all of the Spurs stuff? Let me know. Right, God, okay. We have got comments flying in on TikTok. Halal food blogs. You got any alternatives? Say Morgan Gibbs-White doesn't go through. The obvious one for me is Xavi Simons. Xavi Simons is the absolute alternative, and they may not necessarily be the same type of player, but I'm a big admirer of him. And then after that, it would be Eze. I don't know how Arsenal are sort of going in terms of how progressed they are in a deal for him. But one of those two would be, in my opinion, a fantastic alternative for Morgan Gibbs-White. But yeah, we'll see. Where else are we? Go get Eze, says Gary. Yeah, wouldn't mind it. I'd still love to see Eze in a Spurs shirt, personally. Andy says it will get done, bro. It's nothing to do with Spurs. It's his agent. Yeah, that's what I'm led to believe as well. That it's all agent talk, really, and maybe that's where the issue has arisen. Aiden, thank you for the follow on TikTok. Arsenal, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. How you doing, mate? I'm good, thank you. Sims or Simba, I see your comment as well. Thank you so much for the follow on TikTok. Oeats, thank you for the follow. Ewan Coys, thank you for the follow. And yeah, you guys are flying in with the follows on TikTok. Blimey. Yeah, Hoek says this saga's dragging on. It is, I agree, and it's probably going to drag on for a good few more days yet, in my opinion. Gary says Morgan Gibbs-White can we sue Morgan Gibbs-White can sue Forest for breaching his contract though. Yeah, technically he can take legal action unless Spurs have approached illegally. That's kind of like the trade-off. It's whether It's whether or not Spurs have approached it legally, and if they haven't, then yes, Morgan Gibbs can absolutely take action against them. So yeah, is he coming? Says FPL. Hopefully, I really hope so. Ethan says Fabrizio just posted an Eder Militao. Here we go to Tottenham. You could have at least picked a more realistic target for Tottenham. That would have been pretty crazy, to be honest. But yes. Hi Mitch, watching from South Africa. My name is Simba. Simba, welcome along. Welcome to the family, my dude. Hope you're doing well. What's going on with Gibbs-White? Like I say, just still stalling, still being a pain in the backside, to be honest with you. And I hope it's sorted soon. I really, really do. So yeah, I don't know. I can show you guys. Let me switch over to Cam and Scream, and I can show you where we're at. Sky seem to be the ones across this the most in terms of actual information about this Gibbs-White deal, and to me that tells me that this is being fed to Sky, because although obviously Sky are really reputable, they're a massive broadcaster, etc., they're never usually the first to get transfer and inside information these days. So the fact that they are, and they're leading the narrative on this, tells me that that's being fed directly by Forest. So I would take what they're saying with a pinch of salt, to be honest. CP talks bull. Forest are clearly just wanting to scare us off. Yeah, I tweeted this earlier. I said, probably better for me to just get it up. Follow me on X, by the way, if you guys aren't already. Got a massive family over there. I said this earlier. I said, the exact thing Nottingham Forest want is for Spurs and the fans to get fed up over this Morgan Gibbs-White deal and move on to other targets. I know it's annoying, but we need to stick to it out of principle. And I really do believe that. I genuinely think we need to stick to this and we need to see it through. If we back down now, Forest are getting exactly what they want, and I just don't think that's acceptable. I don't think we can let that happen, to be perfectly honest with you. That is sort of my opinion on the whole thing. I don't know what you guys think. Would you move on at this point? Is it just so draining and so annoying to you guys that you'd kind of move on from it as well? I think he's worth sticking it out for, personally. That's kind of how good he is. You take Kudus will always be bigger than you in Essex. Irons. Okay, if you say so. Listen, I can't accept any world in which West Ham would be bigger than Tottenham. It's just unrealistic, my friend. It just is. Ewan says, up the Spurs, up the Spurs. Desmond, Gibbs-White will sign a bigger contract for Forest. I don't think so. So this is another update. Forest have supposedly been trying to tie Gibbs-White down to a new contract for the last year, and he's been really reluctant to get into negotiations and sign a new contract. And the main reason they want to sign him to a new contract is so that they can get rid of the release clause that's currently there. So, that is just what it is. But he doesn't want to. And if you don't want to, then, what can you do, to be honest? Oh, God, I'm falling so far behind on TikTok and YouTube already. Sorry, I'll be back. I am reading through them all. Do you think we'll get the deal over the line? Yes, Danny. Absolutely still think the deal will get over the line. 100%. Adam Wharton. Yeah, we'll talk about the Adam Wharton stuff because there's been a little bit of development on that, in my opinion. But I wouldn't get your hopes up too much on it. We'll get to it, though. Mark, Coys, absolutely. Gary J, any truth in Douglas Luiz, Paulinho? The Douglas Luiz and Paulinho stuff's pretty straightforward, I think. We really like them, both of those players, and they would be good options for Spurs to sign. I think they're probably players that we'll look at as secondary central defensive midfielder targets. And those of you that watched my YouTube video that I posted yesterday, I sort of identified the top targets that Spurs should look at for the summer, and they were both on that list. So I think they would do a lot for this Spurs side, even if it's just adding a bit of experience as well. Is it Kenny? Have you seen Spurs will file a complaint? Yeah, I have seen that. I think that's just coming from an ITK though. I don't know if that's reliable information at this stage. So I'm not inclined to believe it just yet. If not, I mean, it is pretty self-explanatory anyway if we were to file a complaint, just because we've paid the release clause and triggered it, and you know he should be a Spurs player because of that technically. Just feel like the only way we get Morgan Gibbs-White is if he pushes for a move, and feel like he won't do that. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. M-Kid, thank you for the follow on TikTok. Lee Oxley, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you guys. Simeon Tatum, thank you so much for the follow on TikTok. I'm coming back over to the YouTube comments, don't you worry. How likely do you think we will get Wharton? I reckon this might be the one we miss out on, because I don't see us spending 70 million if we manage to get Gibbs-White. Yeah, so I saw a post on this earlier that I will show you, which was, yeah, so Tottenham are interested in Adam Wharton, but that's not moving as it stands. And again, TBR not the best source in the world for transfer information, but it's better than nothing, and it lines up saying that they would want a 9-figure sum to sign Adam Wharton this summer, so that's 100 million plus. And I said this in the last live stream, I don't think we're going to pay £100 million for Adam Wharton after one good season in the Premier League. I think it's quite a big risk, and he has a lot of injury problems as well. That's another thing. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it, and we'll chat about it a bit more in a bit. I think a big reason we've gone for Gibbs-White is a homegrown issue. So if we don't go for him, it will likely be another homegrown option, I expect. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. We do need to sort out our homegrown issue, for sure. For sure, we do. We need to see what is going to go on, because Champions League squad we need to sort out, and we need to abide by the certain rules and stuff like that to not get in trouble. So we do need to sign up. That's what all the talk about Kyle Walker-Peters was as well. Is because we need this homegrown sort of stuff to fall through as well. When are we going to start getting the blockers out? We need to sell or loan at least 8 out. Yeah, we will. I think I actually rate the fact that we're trying to sort our incomings first before we sort who's leaving the club, and we will see a lot leave. Some on loan, some permanently, and it's a long process because there are a lot of players that we need to ship out. Obviously, there's talk about a lot. Reguilon, Solomon, people don't really want to stay at the club. There's still talk about Son and whether Son might still go this summer. So that'll be an interesting one to keep an eye on as well. Mohab saying, I think we'll get the deal done, but we would have to pay an extra 5 to 10 million if we wish to pay on different instalments or the full release clause upright. I mean, with this investment, I feel like we could pay it all up front. I wouldn't be opposed to that for sure. Would not be opposed to that whatsoever. That would be ideal, to be honest with you. So we'll see. But so he says we won't get any movement on this deal until Forest secure a replacement. My money is on Jacob Ramsey. Good shout. Really good shout. Jacob Ramsey is... I saw the report on that earlier as well, actually, that apparently Forest are lining up a move for Jacob Ramsey. And that would suggest a potential Gibbs-White replacement. So it's definitely one to keep an eye on. I say move on. His value will drop next year and that owner will lose out more. Yeah, quite possibly. I feel like he either signs with us this summer though, or he signs a new contract. That's the issue. Lewis says, do you think Morgan Gibbs-White will join Spurs? Yes, my opinion, and I'm happy to say it over and over again, is that yes, Morgan Gibbs-White will still join Tottenham this summer. It's just a matter of when rather than if. Angry Birds 2, do you think we could get Wissa from Brentford? We could get him 100%. Whether we'll pay 50 million for him, which is what they want, I'm not entirely sure that will be the case. He's 29 nearly. He's got 1 year left on his contract, I believe. 50 million is very, very steep. So I think there are other teams interested in him as well that don't want to pay that. Hey, Matt, how you doing, buddy? Welcome to the stream. Unless there is something that makes it stick to the club, It's all hearsay and court and can't be proven. Yeah, exactly. And I said this to a few people as well. It feels like if Forest had something concrete, they would have pressed a lot harder than they have. They're only just filing an official complaint. They've taken nearly 4 days to do so. If they had something solid, it would be out in the open and it would be common knowledge at this point. And they haven't, so I don't think there is. And the line that Spurs are putting out is that they believe they've done nothing wrong and they still want to get a deal done. I just want to know what the breaking point is. Do we have to sit here and wait for the Premier League to say Spurs have done nothing wrong here? They've triggered the release clause for Gibbs-White. You must let him go. Or do Forest just give in eventually and go, yeah, okay, fine, he can leave, whatever. But we want the release clause all up front or something like that. There's just what I will say is that there's a lot of stuff out there at the moment that contradicts itself. And there's so many reports that are just sort of twisting all over each other. So I'd just be careful with what you're reading. And to be honest with you, I would wait and I would... David Ornstein's not tweeted a single thing about it since he said Gibbs-White was supposed to do his medical. When he tweets about it, that's when you can believe it. That is my opinion. Anyway, so yeah. 9-figure fee for Wharton, he's good, but not that good. Yeah, agreed. Ramsey is a top target for Forest to replace Gibbs-White. Yeah, 100%. Daniel says you're my favourite YouTuber. Daniel, that's very kind of you. I appreciate it. I'm not sure if that's a satire comment or not, but thank you. I appreciate it. If I am your favourite YouTuber, guys, by any chance, feel free to hit that follow button on TikTok or subscribe button down on YouTube. I do appreciate it. Guys, is this getting done, the Gibbs-White deal? Yeah, I think so. Homegrown isn't an issue, really. It's club trained that's the issue, which we'll have to eat this season. After this year, it won't be an issue. Yeah, of course. That's another thing as well. I am reading my TikTok chat, YAXH, but I'm just trying to keep up because I'm across both TikTok and YouTube. So don't worry, I'll be coming back over to the TikTok chat in a second. Don't worry, I'm just getting to the bottom of my list. Patience. Ronnie says Son is staying 100%. Yeah, I think he will. To be honest. Why don't we just offer Forest Brian Hill and some free Skywalk vouchers to sweeten the deal? Yeah, I'm not entirely sure Marinakis will go for that, but I'm happy to give it a go. Wissa not good enough. Interesting opinion. Do others agree with that? Is Wissa good enough to play for Tottenham? He scored 19 Premier League goals last season. We've triggered the release clause. Gibbs-White don't need that Duffers position to come to Spurs. Yeah, I agree, which is why it's all a bit confusing. Breaking point is when Marinakis admits defeat. He might not ever do that. Ian says, Himothy reporting that Spurs have offered more to pay 2 years and Forest have actually fucked up the report. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Like I say, I'm not sure on the validity of that information, so take it with a pinch of salt. But yeah, Hampton saying a lot of TikTok banned in India. You'll have to just stick around on YouTube then, buddy. Right, I'm here on I'm back on the TikTok chat. I got you guys. Don't worry about it. Spurs are going to complain to the Premier League, say offered a bit more money, but Marinakis wants more. Yeah, he's just being a bit greedy, and I think he's just trying to save face. Jason says, I like that tweet, totally agree with you. They want us to walk away, we have to dig our heels in. Yep, 100%. Morgan Gibbs-White knows he wants to come, just take longer to complete. Absolutely, I agree with you there. 60 mil for Gibbs-White is too good of a deal to pull out. Yeah, exactly. I think the fee's really sensible, to be honest, for someone of Gibbs-White's calibre. Yeah, it's a steal. I see that as well, TTV. Forest fan, by any chance? I've just noticed it's NFFC in your name. Are you a Forest fan? Tune in. Simeon Tatum, thank you for the follow on TikTok. Appreciate it, dude. Chris says, if they sign Ramsey, then we'll get Morgan Gibbs-White. Yeah, Gary says, time for Son to go. Debatable for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I'm more inclined to say keep Son for one more year, but I don't know if that's like just pulling at my heartstrings kind of thing. Will we? Can't believe we ain't going for Mbeumo. I think we did go for Mbeumo, to be honest. I just think he wants Man United. Will we still get Gibbs-White? Yeah, hopefully. Free Gibbs-White? Yeah, I know. It might trend eventually. You don't know. I don't know. What's this talk about a Brighton player we're interested in? Any truth? I mean, again, I saw it, but the fact that we can't name the Brighton player, it's just easy news to regurgitate, in my opinion. Just, we could be interested in a lot of Brighton players. We could be interested in Mitoma, Baliba, which the entire world is going to be interested in. Yakuba Mensah is the one that I sort of saw, which would make sense if we weren't signing Kudus and Gibbs-White. So I don't know about that. Don't think you will get Gibbs-White just yet. Yeah, it might drag out for a little bit longer. Richarlison has to go. Definitely need a striker. Can't rely on Solanke. Yeah, I'd definitely ship Richarlison out this summer and replace him. And thank you for the follow on TikTok. Appreciate it. Will the Morgan Gibbs-White deal happen? Yes or no? I'm so confused by it. As it stands, yes, it will. It will happen. Keep the faith is what I would say. Keep the faith about it. Nicholas Jackson appreciated by Spurs, confirmed by Fabrizio Romano, 50 million plus. That can't be true. I don't believe that one. I'm not even going to bother researching that. The idea of Nicholas Jackson at Tottenham makes me feel sick, personally. I haven't taken legal action yet. Oh God, it's just skipped a load. They haven't even taken legal actions yet, but if Spurs broke any rules, then they surely would have. Exactly. 100%. 100% agree with you. Great content, Simeon. Thank you, Brad. Appreciate it. Morgan Gibbs-White news today. Just that Forest consider him not available for transfer, which, is just the stance that they have had for ages now. Thank you for the follows. I see you guys in TikTok. HXZZY is dumb. Some of the names you guys come up with are crazy. Appreciate the follow. How confident are you in this signing? Pretty confident. I'm still confident. I don't want to look at it from an emotional perspective. I want to look at it from a legal perspective. And I genuinely do not think that Forest have a leg to stand on for this. I really don't. Can see it's going on for weeks. Very frustrating situation. 100%. Very, very frustrating. Offering them more money, apparently. The thing is, though, right? The only reason we would offer Forest more money is... Well, there's two reasons. Either we have done something wrong, or we just want to get the deal done quicker. And now the reports do say that Frank wants Gibbs-White in the squad for when we go on our pre-season tour to Asia. So that would make sense. But, money is money, and we all know what Daniel Levy is like. And are we really going to pay an extra 5 mil plus at the very least just to get this done a week earlier or 2 weeks earlier? I'm not entirely sure about that, to be honest with you. Why add a release clause if you don't want a clause? Agreed. Move will not happen this summer. Brave thing to say. We'll see. Where do you think Spurs finish, says Ollie? If I had to say right now, I'd say we'd be aiming for the top 6. Few more signings, and that is when you sit there and you can say maybe we can challenge for the top 4. But it's a difficult one at the moment to sort of call with so much of the transfer window left. Celson and Richie get Mitoma and Wissa. I mean, Mitoma rejected a move to Saudi. What was it, last summer? And Saudi offered 100 mil for him. Absolutely insane. Joker says Gibbs-White announced tomorrow morning. We shall see. Marky Mark, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. How long do you think it takes to get the result? I think at the moment it's dependent on the Premier League and what they say. That's what I think at the moment. Spurs looking for a goalkeeper. Not as far as I'm aware. I think we're quite happy with both Vicario and Kinski. Can see Spurs walking away? I really hope not, because I love Gibbs-White. Absolutely love him. How long do you think it takes to get the result of the week? Yeah, that's what I mean. I think it could be... If I had to be negative about it, I'd be really, really shocked if it's done and sorted this week. That's sort of where I'm sat at the moment with it. Right, back to YouTube. Wissa not good enough. I think I read that one. According to Rob, Forest haven't written to the Premier League yet, but if they can prove anything, then Morgan Gibbs-White and his representatives can also sue Forest. Yes, correct. 100%. I think Eze was best for Spurs. Agreed. Love Eze. Really hope he doesn't go to Arsenal. I genuinely would rather Arsenal sign Eberici Eze than Eberici Eze. Rodrigo than Eberici Eze, to be honest. Yes, Easy, how you doing? What's up? Gary Bradley, if anything, this entire situation will make Morgan Gibbs-White want to leave Forest more. He knows his owner is an absolute nut job. And it also puts players off joining Forest, because if you sign a contract and then you're not honoured when you have a clause in that contract and someone activates it or whatever, like, it just paints a really bad picture, in my opinion, anyway. Wearing white and blue's training was absolute message to the Forest board. Well, we can read into that as much as we want, I guess. Yeah, I know. He doesn't want a new contract at Forest. They've been trying for over a year. Yeah, only thing now is City coming. I think City have sorted their midfield situation, though, to be honest. I think City have made their signings there in Shirky and Reyners. So I'm not sure whether they would go for him. Rich, if you've got anything you would like to talk about, I feel like we're bombarding the hell out of you right now. Yeah, there are a couple of things. You know, one thing I wanted to see, and I saw Matt Hayes tweet about it yesterday, is this team. Oh, change the screen. Is this team right here. I'm just going to zoom out so that people can see it properly on TikTok as well. 1 second. I just need to make my face cam on TikTok a touch smaller so people can see the team. How would people feel if this was the Tottenham team heading into next season? What do we think about that? Because I looked at this and I sat there and I thought, wow, this is actually a really, really good team. So you got the usual back five, back four. Obviously, the Adam Wharton stuff is not. I mean, 45 mil valuation, first of all, is nowhere near the mark. And yeah, I know he's in there. That team, I look at that and I think that is packed with so much talent and so much potential as well that I struggle to pick a fault with it. Maybe if you want to be really, really critical, you could say Matthias Tell is not the finished product yet. Neither is Bergvall, and maybe you could upgrade Solanke. I don't know. Is that me being harsh? I don't know. When Max's Wonder Champions League fixtures get released, I'm not actually sure, but I think it's in August sometime, right? Is it not just after the season started or just before the season started? I think that is when the fixtures get released. But yeah, Eze or Morgan Gibbs-White? Great question. Now that we've signed Kudus, I think I'd rather go for Morgan Gibbs-White because I think Gibbs-White fills a position better than Eze. I don't know, because Gibbs-White can play in that 10 role, he can play in that 8 role. Eze can play in that 10 role and he can play on the wing. So it's a difficult one, but I just don't think we need any more wide players. That's kind of where I'm at with it, to be honest. Son can be the best if we have the best midfielders. Yeah, well, I mean, people providing him with stuff makes a big difference for sure. João Palhinha would be a useful addition, leadership in midfield. Yeah, we've missed that lately, haven't we? A bit of leadership, a bit of experience in the middle of the park. It'd be great to get something like that. Forest top target, Jacob Ramsey to replace Gibbs-White. Yeah, seen that. Interesting one to keep an eye on. The worrying thing is we're so focused on this that we're still neglecting a 6. Yeah, it's a big priority. It's a really, really big priority. And like I said, we looked at the Adam Wharton deal, but Palace supposedly want a 9-figure sum, which we're just not going to pay. We're just not going to pay that, I don't think. After we sort out the Gibbs-White saga, we have to get Palhinha from Bayern Munich. A lot of you guys are fans Yeah, I know. I see that comment on TikTok about the price. That's just transfer markets valuation of him. I know he'd be a lot more money than that. Yeah, a lot of you guys seem to be fans of João Paulinho, which is very, very interesting to me. Are you guys leaning towards that? You sort of want experience in the middle of the park. Right. Let me put this to you guys. Right. Would you rather pay 100 million for Adam Wharton this summer, or pay 20 mil for João Paulinho this summer, and maybe go back in for a big mega money signing in central midfield next summer? That I think that's quite an interesting question to have a ponder on. Patience is a virtue. Gibbs-White will happen. Yep. Stick to our outpost with Kudus and Gibbs-White would be insane. It's next level, improves us massively. 100%. It definitely improves us. I agree with that. What number 6 would you prefer, Douglas Luiz or Paulinho, if Wharton is outpriced? This is just my opinion, by the way, I would pick Douglas Luiz. I think he's underrated, and I think we could get him on a good deal as well. Douglas Luiz rather. So I'd go with that. Levy can't pay even less than 100k more. Yeah, I agree with the Gibbs-White stuff. Gregory's saying, hi Mitch, if you want a goalkeeper, you can have Matt Turner. I pay for his taxi to Spurs. What's up with Matt Turner? That's some shade for him right there. Love that team, looks quite good. Got a feeling Frank will get a tune out of Pat Matasar. Yeah, he's underrated, Papsar. I think he's got huge potential. Huge potential at Spurs, in my opinion. I like having recovery pace with Gibbs-White. Why is Teller guaranteed start? He's not. This is just... I think you're looking at the long term. Obviously, you've got Odebert that can play out there as well. Technically, Brennan Johnson couldn't. Heung-min Son, in my opinion, will definitely start the season on that left wing, I think. Johnson over Tell, to be honest. Frank even said he'd be over the moon if he got Johnson at Brentford. Yeah, I know. Frank's a big fan. Paulinho, definitely. We conceded as many as we did because of that lack of a DM. Okay, yeah, so you want that guy that's sort of going to just like break it up and be that powerhouse in midfield. Second option, probably Paulinho. Odebert forced to into contention on that left-hand side. For sure, he could prefer Wharton or Believer. I have a list of midfielders, says Inner Hype. Alexander Pras, Pierre Coop Miners, John Arambaru, or on a cheaper deal, Hakon Ivien. Best ones I could chip off ChatGPT. I'll be honest with you, I don't know if this is like negligent of me. I don't really know who those guys are. To be honest with you, I don't know. Midfield is mid. I don't know. Midfield's just young and full of potential, in my opinion. I don't know. Winning the quadruple. Yeah, I love that attitude. Is another question I've just thought of on the back of that comment. Is this team capable of winning a trophy next season? As it is on the screen right there, is that good enough to win the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup? We won't go as far as Premier League and Champions League because they're out of our reach right now, aren't they? Maybe 16th this year, lad. All right, if you say so, we'll see. I'll come back to it in May. Vicario isn't the best IMO. Yeah, I think Vicario is maybe the one guy I'd look on there and think we could upgrade on if we were going to get another player in this summer. Maybe replace Vicario. I don't know who with, though. I don't really know. I agree with Tell, but Bergvall was arguably our best midfielder last season. Yeah, what I meant by my comment about Bergvall, Ben, was that he's still got so much potential to improve. Like, so much to sort of get better in his game. So much. So yeah, that's what I meant when I said he's not the finished article. You think you're going to get Wharton? I don't think we will get him. I think we want him. I don't think we'll get him. Gibbs-White easy for me over Eze. He offers more. Yeah, fair. Get that. What about Odebert for Solanke? Odebert as a striker? I don't know. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest with you. I don't know if I ever see Odebert playing as a striker. Any news on outgoings? At the moment, it's really quiet on outgoings. I think we will ship a lot of players. it's just a lot of them are those deadwood types, aren't they? That teams don't really want to pay for. So yeah, I don't know. Wharton Bay higher than 45 mil. Yeah, 100%. Blackburn own 25% of profit too. Yeah, they're getting a bargain. They'll be getting a big slice of the pie out of that. I prefer Douglas Luiz to João Paulinho. Yeah, absolutely fair. Can see the logic behind that. I agree with you. Keep seeing these teams. Everyone not got Madders in there. Lewis, that's a great point. Would anyone put James Maddison in this team right now that's on the screen? Would anyone put James Maddison in there instead for anyone? Paulinho's a no for me. Can't even start for Bayern. Fair. 100 mil for Wharton. Yeah. Team is relegation, bro. So deluded. All right. I'm not having that. Paulinho can't ever start for Bayern. So yeah, fair. I'd offer 80 mil for Wharton, but if we can't get him, give me Douglas Luiz. Prediction for next season. I mean, for Spurs, at the moment, if we were to start the season right now, top 6 in a trophy. I don't know if that's pessimistic. Newest update on Morgan Gibbs-White. So the latest is Morgan Gibbs-White trained with Nottingham Forest today. He is being very, very professional about it. Forest have reportedly now written a letter to Spurs about how they're considering legal action and they may take legal action against them. But that is the extent of it right now. Spurs believe they've done absolutely nothing wrong and still want to push a deal through. What about Kulu? Kulu's injured until... Well, he could be injured for a good while yet. That's why he's not probably in this team. 4-2-3-1 or 4-1-2-3. Could be either of those formations, to be honest. Is Kulu not your best player? When he's on it, he's a very, very good player. Best player? Not entirely sure. No experience, really. Not with Solanke up front, unfortunately. You can finish top half with this team, genuinely. Yeah, okay. Love Solanke, but compare him to Haaland, Ekitike, Cunha, Gyökeres. Yeah, in terms of output, perhaps. In terms of how he probably makes Tottenham work as a team, I think he's very underrated. Is Gibbs-White actually joining, though? Have patience. I think he is. Be patient. Liam's laughing at the top 6 in a trophy comment. I don't think that's unreasonable. Trebeus, thank you for the subscription on YouTube, my dude. If you guys are obviously enjoying the content right now, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel or follow if you're watching on TikTok. Appreciate you guys. Feel free to give it a like as well. It helps me very, very much. Does Son not start anymore? No. Matters as well. Yeah, again, this is what I mean. We're finally starting to build a bit of squad depth. That's the best thing about it, is you guys all in the comments are going, well, this team, you know, where's Maddison? Where's Kulusevski? Where's Odegaard? Where's Papsar? Like, these are great players. That's a great team on the screen. And we haven't even got those players in the starting 11, which is why I'm sort of feeling so optimistic about the whole thing, which is great, to be honest. I don't know how you guys are feeling about it as well. Crazy to think this team will finish 12th. You guys are imposters in the TikTok chat. I know you guys aren't Spurs fans talking about this. Is Jamie Donnelly ready for the first team? Possibly. I think it would serve Jamie better to go out on loan for one more year and then come back. Just thinking about how many players we've got in the squad, to be honest. So yeah, we'll see. Spurs filing a complaint now. Yeah, I take Tell out for Madders. Fairs. Jermaine, hey dude, welcome back. No idea about the notice, dude. I like this approach from a recruiting department, but buy first and sell rather than what it was before. Agreed. Buy first and then get rid of the deadwood later. That is the tactic to deploy. In my humble opinion, that is the tactic to deploy. But yeah, I don't know if there's anything else going on with the Gibbs-White stuff right now, to be honest. But yeah, I'm. Do you know what would just be amazing for all of us if just something came out of the blue, just out of nowhere, and sort of just resolved it, one way or another, gave us an answer, because it's getting tiring, you know. Championship or maybe Bundesliga loan for Donnelly. Yeah, he needs higher than League One next season, for sure. Championship at the very least. These Twitter for you feeds, by the way, are absolutely crazy sometimes. We can have a look. A lot of you guys still asking about the Gibbs-White stuff, so we'll search it and we'll see what the latest is, and we'll go through. Disclaimer: some of these tweets may not be very nice. That is just the platform at the moment, so I apologise in advance if it offends anyone. Due to Seasoned, thank you for the subscription on YouTube, my dude. Welcome to the family. I hope I haven't butchered your name like that. How much is Crystal Palace asking for Wharton? 100 mil. 100 mil at the very least, which is why I think it's kind of out of reach. I think it's going to be a very, very tough deal to pull off. So yeah, I don't know. But, right. We got this now. We are Tottenham TV, boys. Free Morgan Gibbs-White. Look at this. The state of this AI picture, by the way, is absolutely crazy. But, you know, I agree. Just let him go. I think the way I look at it a lot of the time is Forest obviously want to keep him, but he doesn't have any interest in staying. So even if they somehow manage to scare Spurs off, right, and the deal didn't go through, what is the benefit then to Forest? They'll be losing out on 60 million, and then they'll have a player on their hands who's unhappy and doesn't want to necessarily play for him next season. So I just feel like, okay, you've made your point now. You've made it look like you're trying, and you're angry about the deal and stuff like that. And maybe someone's let slip about the release clause. But it just is what it is. It just is what it is. So, you know, get on with it, to be honest. But yeah, that picture does make me laugh. Okay, I'm going to assume this is the report that a lot of people were seeing in the chats. Yeah, I don't know. Look, can I be brutally honest with you guys? I really try not to look into the ITK stuff on Twitter too much, just because, one, there's so many of these accounts on the platform now that it all gets muddled up and information gets twisted and changed, and nobody can tell what is the truth. And a lot of them, and I'm not saying that this is, by the way, but a lot of them just guess. And that's why I try not to look at this sort of stuff, but I'm assuming this is what people are talking about in terms of the release clause and playing it in 2 years with a bit of extra cash to try and get the move over the line. So we'll see. Nice picture of Gibbs-White and Spurs training there. Yeah, and this was the big report that Sky Sports can reveal that Nottingham Forest have written to both Tottenham Hotspur and Morgan Gibbs-White's agent to threaten legal action over what they believe was an unlawful approach. Yeah, I don't know. It just seems all very false. It just seems like it's all a bit of nothing. Over what they believe was an unlawful approach for the player and a breach of confidentiality. But it's not confidentiality that Spurs have broken. It'll be whoever has sort of leaked it to Spurs, he has a release clause, and the likelihood is that's Morgan Gibbs-White's agent. So is that really our fault? But yeah, they keep towing this line that Gibbs-White's not for sale. I just wonder how long it's going to go on for. Like I say, Spurs believe they've done nothing wrong. They remain interested in completing a deal. Yeah, I don't agree with these takes. I like Gibbs-White, but don't rate him enough to stall out our entire transfer window. I think he's such a good player that you have to go all in. And go from there, to be honest, and just wait it out. Like, there's nothing stopping Tottenham from moving on to other targets at the same time. You can't refuse to sell someone who's got a release clause. Exactly that as well. He needs to put in a transfer request if he wants to leave. Yeah, it may come to that. It may come to that, for sure. He was the first one who broke the news that Bergvall was out of Bodo first leg. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I mean, there may be some credibility, but I don't know. I'm not beefing anyone, by the way. It's just how I think about it. Yeah, this is it. This is the line for me. This is the line. Give up on Morgan Gibbs-White and go for Eze. Absolutely not. Gibbs-White transforms us, especially under Frank, would be an incredible signing. Agreed. I agree. I think so. Also, that graphic is so cold. Him in that away kit just looks absolutely incredible. Yeah, for me anyway. Made their legal complaint. This is what I mean. It's contradicting. Like, people have said that Forest haven't made their legal complaint yet, and some have. So it's all over the place. By the way, how crazy is that Alexander Isak to Liverpool stuff? Could you imagine if they dropped another 120 mil on Alexander Isak? They would be unstoppable. Absolutely unstoppable. Imagine they've got a front four of what, like, you got Salah on the right, Isak through the middle, Diaz, or if they sold Diaz and go for someone like Gordon, you'd expect them to bring in another elite left winger, and then Florian Wirtz in behind. That, I don't see how any team is able to stop that. It would be insane. I think we'll get him to Hackerman on YouTube. Yeah, hopefully, my dude. I really hope so. Dom and Morgan lookalike coys, for sure. I would say some of it is an Ange grudge, perhaps. Archie Gray's being overlooked as a player. Yeah, the thing is, I don't think we really know Archie Gray's full potential yet because of where he played under Ange last season. That's the main thing for me, to be honest, is that we saw him a lot in right back, and then we only saw him a couple of times in CDM towards the latter stages of the season, and he does have great potential, and he could be a fantastic signing, for sure. No doubts about that. Yeah, so the other thing is that I wanted to talk about, Tottenham's pre-season officially starts on Saturday. I wonder if we can see it on FootMob. Yeah, Spurs v Reading. Saturday the 15th of July. No, today's the 15th of July. Saturday the 19th of July, Spurs finally get their pre-season campaign underway. Away to Reading. I know it's not the most glamorous fixture, but what it is going to do is it's going to provide us with the first opportunity to be able to see what Thomas Frank can do with Spurs. And I'm so excited about it. I cannot wait. We're going to see, hopefully, Kudus in action for the first time. We're going to see how we shape under Thomas Frank. We're going to see the differences in tactics. And it should be a really positive start before we go away on our tour. I'm just having a look. I know you guys can't see it right now, but I'm just looking at our fixtures after that. So we've got Reading, and then we've got Luton. And then we fly out to South Korea, I believe, where we face Arsenal on the 31st of July. That's only, just over 2 weeks away now until we play Arsenal in pre-season. By the way, what is that? Like, pre-season game against Arsenal, I don't rate it at all, to be honest with you. I just don't like it. Jareth Bale, thank you for the follow on TikTok, my dude. Appreciate it. Then Arsenal, then Newcastle, and then we have Bayern, and then that pre-season friendly against Bayern Munich, I don't know if we're going to risk any players in it, to be honest, because we're playing PSG on the 13th of August. We're playing Bayern Munich on the 7th, so it's 6 days after we play Bayern Munich, sorry. We're going to be playing PSG in the Super Cup. I think that's mental. That's mental. Like, I wouldn't be playing a single starter in that Bayern Munich game, risk him getting injured. And you don't want to tire him out before the season's even started. I don't know. I don't like that. Riley, thank you for the follow on TikTok, my dude. Welcome along. Enjoy the journey, my friend. So yeah, I think I'm very excited for pre-season. What are you guys expecting? Let me know in the comments, who are you most excited to see play for Spurs under Thomas Frank, and particularly in this pre-season period? Are you looking forward to playing Harry Kane again in pre-season, if he's even back at that point? Because God knows how long these players are going to get off after the Club World Cup. But this is the first one. Reading, 19th of July. These are the injuries that we've got at the moment. Brian Hill, Kulusevski. Yeah, so FootMob's currently predicting Kulusevski to be back around mid-September, which will be interesting. I thought it might be out a bit later than that. Maddison says late June, but I think he's fit now, or at least he's training properly in pre-season. So, yeah, I don't know. And then Dragusin. Have you seen Dragusin, by the way? He's flying along on his recovery from that ACL injury. Absolutely flying. So, yeah. We've played against Reading 3 times in our history. We've beaten them all 3 times. So, hopefully, we can carry that through. That'll be great. But yeah, what are people saying? We probably are going to use our C team against teams like Reading and Luton. I think you might be surprised. And the reason I say that is because Thomas Frank's got no time to lose getting started for pre-season. And we've got a big game in August against PSG. Like, let's not forget, we've got technically a cup final. We got a cup final in August against PSG. A team that, although we're a lot better than us, have just made it to the Club World Cup final. Just made it to the Club World Cup final. They're going to be absolutely knackered. They get, 3 weeks off before they need to start pre-season again? So before you know it, they're going to have 1 week or 2 weeks to prepare for this Super Cup. They just might not be at the races. But, the champions of Europe are the champions of Europe. And we know that PSG, when they turn it on, can be absolutely incredible. Watching that Chelsea game the other day was really painful, to be honest. It hurt my heart watching how they sort of took them apart. But yeah, I don't know. Bit of a weird one. Lee says, hope you're keeping well, mate. Yeah, doing very well, my friend. Like I was saying to everybody who's been here since the start of the live, I am also making an appearance back on the Last Word on Spurs this evening. That is going to be starting at 10 o'clock. So make sure you bring yourself along to that. And we will continue this conversation, by the way, because I think the main topic of discussion for that on Last Word on Spurs is Morgan Gibbs-White, going to be talking about the latest for Adam Wharton and other players as well. So it's going to be a really, really great show. And do you know what? I'd love it if you guys watching now came over to that chat and, just got yourselves in the comment. Let me know that you're there, because I'll see it. I can see the chat. Obviously, I won't be leading the discussion because I'm a guest on there, but I will see you guys. So yeah, feel free to do that. But has anyone else got any other questions or points they want to make about Spurs transfer related stuff before we wrap up and I have a little bit of a break before Last Word on Spurs, so my voice doesn't die, essentially? Park Lane says starting at 10. Hey, look, I don't make the start times for these podcasts. I really don't. I don't know why they're so late. Maybe because people are just chilling at that point and it's when people are about. Daniel says, do score predictions for all of the pre-season matches. Can do that quickly if you want. So, Reading away, first game, 19th of July. I don't think we'll have any problems coming through that. I think we will comfortably win that. Spurs, and I'd be shocked if we don't concede in every pre-season game before the league starts. I think we will win that game 4 or 5-1, to be honest. Going for that for the opening game. Big boost under Thomas Frank to get going. Luton, it's going to be very similar. I think we should beat them. But we've got to also remember that Frank's going to rotate. He's going to get a look at players for the upcoming season, who he prefers, who he doesn't prefer. He's going to try different things, different tactics, different players in different positions. And that will be a key thing. But like I said, we should beat Luton as well comfortably by a handful of goals, in my opinion. Arsenal, oh God, I don't even know what to say for the Arsenal game, to be honest. I'd like to say that we're going to win and we're going to beat Arsenal. Obviously, they're our big rivals. You always want to beat Arsenal, but in pre-season, anything can happen. They will probably play a strong squad against us, and we will play a strong squad against them. And I am going to say we're going to beat Arsenal 3-2. 3-2, I think. Jack, thank you for the follow on TikTok, my dude. Jermaine says, what about membership for your channel? Yeah, you guys can join the channel as members if you want on YouTube. It's just an extra way to support me. I think I am going to get exclusive content and social media interactions and stuff like that on there eventually. So if you want to join the YouTube channel, you can hit the join channel button and become a member if you fancy it. I think it's only like £2 a month, so it's it's there if you wanted to support me. Obviously, it helps in every way. But thank you for bringing that up, Jermaine. Appreciate it. Yeah, I go 3-2 against Arsenal. Newcastle. Ooh, that's a good question. I'm not sure about the Newcastle game. I really like the way that their squad is coming about, to be honest. I think that they will have a fantastic front three regardless of Langer, Isak and Gordon. If they add Ekatike to it as well, like wow, we got some very good teams in the Prem next season as well. I'm going to go 2-1. 2-1 Spurs for that one. Obviously, I'm going to predict us to win every game, by the way, guys. I'm never going to sit here and say that Spurs aren't going to win a game of football. I don't roll like that. I always back the team to win. And then finally, Bayern Munich. If we may lose that one against Bayern Munich, but we usually give them a good. I feel like we play them a lot in pre-season. We usually give them a good game. So maybe a draw, maybe like a 1-1, 2-2 draw. We'll go to might do like fun penalties at the end of the game or something maybe, and then Kane skies his penalty. That would be funny. I'll do the Super Cup quickly as well. If we played that Super Cup right now with a squad that we've got, I think it would be very tough still, because bear in mind we haven't finalised the Gibbs-White deal. So all we've really done is brought in Takai at centre back and Kudus at right wing. It will be a tough game regardless as to who we sign, but I think it's not impossible. That's my opinion. It's not impossible. I don't know about a score right now. Bro, you can't say you're going to win every game. Of course I can. Why can't I say that? Of course I can say we're going to win every game. We don't know, do we? But yeah, we're going to lose a Newcastle game. I think, yeah, maybe we could lose all of our pre-season games. I don't think we will, though. Starting 11, I've kind of already done. I wouldn't change it too much from that graphic I had up on the screen earlier about that Matt Hayes sort of had up. But yeah, I think that is all we're really gonna cover this evening. Just because, like I said, I'm on Last Word on Spurs in a bit. 10 o'clock it's set to start. So if you want to see a bit more, if you want to chat a bit more about the Morgan Gibbs-White stuff and everything else in between, head over to the Last Word on Spurs YouTube channel, and we can carry on. I do want to say again, thank you so much to everybody that has joined the live stream on YouTube and on TikTok. Thank you for all of the likes, all of the subscriptions, all of you new followers. You guys are smashing it. Jed, I see you, buddy. Smashing the like button. Appreciate you, dude. Hope you're doing well. Jack Payne, thank you for the follow on TikTok as well. Like you guys are the reason that I'm doing the content and doing so many live streams and creating so many videos. So yeah, if you want to carry on seeing it, make sure you follow along the journey. Like it as well, subscribe. It all helps me and allows me as well to be able to dedicate a lot more time to this. So you guys are amazing. Appreciate it. Park Lane, thank you for the follow. I see you guys. I'll be back on Last Word on Spurs in about an hour and a half. I will also be getting another live stream in. Hopefully, maybe not. I want to try and get another one in before the Reading game, but I can't make any promises. I may be able to do a post-Reading live stream as well, but it depends because I am out Friday and Saturday during the day, so I may have to catch up very quickly on it. But yeah, thank you once again, guys. I need to end it. I need to go sort myself out before this podcast, but I appreciate it. Carry on following, carry on smashing the like button, subscribe to the channel. I will see you in the next one. Enjoy the rest of your week. Appreciate it. And as always,